Good evening, everyone. Specialty user. My topic is all about writing as a process. So, process means a series of actions that produce something or that lead to a particular result. So, writing as a process, this view takes into account the different stages of writing as a way of developing writing skills. So, writing as a process, according to Langan 2014, involves 5 basic steps, namely pre-writing, organizing ideas or outlining the paper, drafting, revising, and editing. We will tackle first the pre-writing. So pre-writing, this step involves choosing the topic and the generation of ideas for writing. So choosing a topic is very crucial, especially if the writing activity is done within the given class time. So pre-writing is the planning stage where you think about what you want to write and gather your ideas. It is like preparing before you are start building something. So as a future educator, we need to guide our students in designing on topics that they are knowledgeable of and interested in. They also have to be reminded that the topic they have chosen is narrow enough to done within the given time frame. So, next, we have the organizing ideas. In this stage, we assist our students in planning or outlining the ideas they have generated during the pre-writing stage. So, once you already have your ideas, you arrange them in a logical order. So, we should think of it as putting puzzle pieces together to make a clear picture. So, for example, if we write a story, we should organize our ideas, then we should decide the beginning, the middle, and the end. And then, we should arrange the events on each part. So, the third one is writing the draft. This refers to the development of the key ideas outlined in the previous stage. So, this is where we start writing our actual piece using our pre-writing and organization as a guide. It's like putting our thought onto paper or screen. So, that's the writing the draft. Next, we have the revising. So, effective writers reread their work to revise content and structure. So, bali, ato ang balik og basa ba, dayon, anha na to tanawan, igbasa na to balik, makita na to dira kung asa ata na sayop or unsay kuwang, unsay dapat atong idugang. So, muna siya revising. Then, last, we have the editing. This stage in writing prepares the writing output for final submission. So, editing. This is the final step where we check for grammar, spelling, punctuation, and style errors. So, di ba katong ganina, revising. So, atong gibasa to na itong balik. So, nakita na to itong mga mali. So, atong gipang-usob. Pagkakita nato sa mga mali mo ni ato nang gi-edit. So mo na to atong gi-edit siya para sa final submission na. That's the last part, editing. So with these processes in mind, we need to remind our students that effective writing considers subject, audience, and purpose in order to put the message across. So, according to Langan 2008. First, we have the subject. Subject refers to what the writing is about. So, this is the idea that we want to talk or write about. Subject. So, we cannot produce anything if our knowledge is limited. Sakto jud. We need to have a considerable collection of ideas in order to carry out a discussion intellectually. So, to enrich our content knowledge, we need to read, observe, and listen. to To enrich our content knowledge, we need to read, observe, and listen. A person who is an effective reader, a keen observer, and a sensitive listener never runs out of ideas to write. So next, we have the audience. So audience refers to the group of people who will be reading the writing. So a writer always has an audience in mind. In the school setup, the audience can be the teacher who reads and grades the writing output, or fellow students who share the same passion on the chosen subject. Just as your purpose determines your language and style of presentation, the audience plays a crucial role in shaping your writing style and organization. So age, profession, cultural background, and gender, among others, contribute a lot in deciding your topic, our method of presentation, and language to use in writing. So kung magsuwat ta, so as a student ang audience jud nato is ang ato ang teacher. So for example, maghimo tag essay, so or short story baron, ang audience nato ato ang teacher, or di ka atong classmate ato ipabasa daan kung okay ba ato ang gisuwat or unsabay kuwang. So mo na sila audience tigbasa sa imuhang gisuwat. Then purpose is the reason why the writing is being done. So di jud ta magsuwat og walay purpose, di ba? So influential writes purposely utilize their extensive collection of ideas. They may inform their readers about the latest facts, convince or persuade them to embrace a new concept or technology, or humor them with entertaining stories. Our writing purpose guides us in organizing our ideas and choosing the languages to use in writing. It also helps us decide the length of our discussion and the style of presentation. So magsuwat ta na joy purpose sama sa giingon ganina. So writing as a product or a process has drawn debates among practitioners. So while others agree that genre-based or product approach is purpose-driven and is helpful in achieving fluency, some others also assert that it is not student-friendly and sometimes can result in mechanical writing. So according to Tompkins 2008, so offers a way of compromise on this issue by balancing the teaching of writing as product and process, or even mixing the two approaches. So so una na atay the mechanics of writing. So una na atay letter recognition. So letter recognition is the ability to distinguish a letter from the other letters in the alphabet and is a foundation in learning to read and write the language. So kaning the mechanics of writing, writing is the second language, begins in understanding the writing system and the mechanics of writing. So for our learners who may have to negotiate between their mother tongue, which is not necessary Filipino, and English as their second language, this requisite in learning to write can be daunting. So kang Allstein dining kang Allstein ning kaning letter recognition kani the mechanics of writing iyahan ni. So una niyang gisuwat is letter recognition is the ability to distinguish a letter from other letters in the alphabet and is a foundation in learning to read and write the language. So for example, a Filipino learner who has memorized the alphabet song may not necessarily know the symbol of each letter when it is removed from its regular sequence. So akong pagsabot ani. So for example, katulad kung gi-memorize ra niya, kita ang mga letters nakabutang dira kung gi-memorize ra to sa isa ka bata or isa ka student, then kung katong mga gipangbutang dito nga letter. So maybe ang usa ka estudyante makalimot siya kung unsay porma atong kuan na letera, unsay kuan ato, kung ihawa to siya kantay ang M, ibaylo sa N, so di na siya makabantay kay gimemorize raman niya. So letter B, we have the letter discrimination, is the ability to distinguish similar looking letters like B and D or letters like F. Letters like unsa man na diri T and F. So di ba kung atong pakalitag tan-aw ang letter B o letter D is same man gyud, di ba? Kay ang B gibalira niya sa letter D. Then ang letter T mura pud siya letter F kay pareha sila nga nay badli sa tunga. Dayon ma siya kanang letter discrimination once na makadistinguish ang isa kataw kung unsay kaparihaan nila o kanang kalahian man na siya letter discrimination. Then letter C is sound to letter correspondence. So this mechanics in writing refers to the matching of the sound with the letters or symbol. English phonetics can be a challenge to Filipino learners because they have sounds or phonemes that do not correspond with their sound. Example, the F sound being spelled as G ug H. So, in the word laugh, the voice and voiceless TH in though and thoth. So, for example, sa laugh ta maguna. So, di ba, igmentag laugh. So, ang kinalasan nga kinalasan nga letter lagi kay murag gisound bitaw letter F, pero ang spelling jud niya letter G ug H, di ba? Laugh, L-A-U-G-H. So, pero igbasa nato letter F ang pagbasa sa GH. So, then ang kuan pod, another one is though og thoth. So, though, thoth. Diba, pare-pareha po sila. Ang nakalahira is na ay letter T ang thoth. Pero, basta lahi jud sila. So, muna siya sound to letter correspondence. So, makabantay ka kung kanang sa tawag na kanang matching bitaw niya. So, though, thoth. Dahil sila pronunciation, pero isa ra ka letter ang nagligas nila. Then, ang katong laugh, nga imbes letter G ug H, pero ang pagbasa letter F. So, mo na apil na siya sa sound to letter correspondence. Dayon, letter D arita sa word recognition. So the complex sound to letter correspondence often results in the learner's problem in word recognition, which is the ability to quickly identify and read the written word. So word recognition kanang makabantay din ka. So the complex sound to letter correspondence. So sabotable naman kaayo, di ba? So for example, kanang word nga sama na kung yata sige, right. So bisag kung adto pa na or notebook notebook og adto na sa mga elementary years like grade 1 kanang bag-o pa ka nakabasa. So ako yung example sa una, ang ako yung pagbasa sa notebook is notibuok. Pero karon kay ka-recognize naman tag sa mga complex nga sound or words or letters. So kabaw na ta nga ang katong gitag og tag sa tagsaw notibuok man jud to. Pero og ato yung basahon dayon is notebook jud siya. So mo na tawag nga word recognition, maka-recognize na ka dayon sa word or letter sa ani mo pagbasa. So letter E is basic rules of spelling. So an effective writer demonstrates fluency in spelling, but to some of our learners this could be a tedious task, especially if they have not mastered the first four of these mechanics. So basic rules of it. So unsa ganito? Unsa toy kuan? So di ba una is letter recognition. Sunod Ikaduha is letter discrimination. Ikatulo is sound to letter correspondence. So, ikaupat, word recognition. So, ang ikalima is basic rules of spelling. So, di kuno ka makaspell kung syempre, ugwa ka aning una, letter recognition, ugwa ka recognize sa letter. Wa ka baw sa letter A, gi-memorize ra to nimo nya ug imong lantawon wa ka kabaw unsa to. So, kinta gibaylo ang letter M ug N nya wa nakakabantay kay gi-memorize ra to nimo. Mo to ang letter recognition. Kung wa daw ka ato, so dili ka makakuan sa basic rules of spelling. So ikaduha, letter discrimination ug wa pud ka kabaw unsay kalahian sa letter B ug D. So wa pud ka aning kinalasan, basic rules of spelling. Then ikatulo, sound to letter correspondence. So katong nay laugh, mga ingato ba, ug wa ka kabaw ato, mo to parehara gihapon. Then word recognition, ug wa ka recognize sa word, so of course di ka kuan sa spelling, di ka kahabaw sa rules sa spelling. So aside from understanding the complex mechanics of writing our target language, we also need to learn the writing system itself, which according to Allstate 2014 can be classified as either meaning-based or sound-based. So ari na ta sa meaning-based o sound-based. So, meaning-based system can be exemplified by the Chinese and Japanese kanji, where the graphic character represents real-world meaning. Then, the sound-based system, like the English language, uses the alphabet where the symbol represents a sound. It is also crucial to know the writing system directions that affect the way we learn writing. So, arita sa meaning-based. Aside from understanding the so meaning-based system, according to my research, so meaning-based system focuses on understanding the semantics and context of language. So while a sound-based system relies more on phonetics and the sound structure of language. So ang meaning-based system giprioritize niya ang comprehension. So, the way sa pagsabot mao na ang meaning-based, from the word meaning-based. Dayon, ang sound-based system kay giprioritize niya ang pronunciation o ang phonetics. So, mao to sa sound-based system. So, sabotable raman, di ba? So, some languages are written in columns like the Chinese and Japanese, or from right to left like Arabic, or from the left to right like Filipino and English. Kuan naman na siya to ganina. Dayon, let's proceed to lesson design and strategies in teaching writing. So, teaching writing requires careful planning. So, according to Judiciously Cruel, cited in pagbasa Weigel 2014, list the essential tasks of a writing teacher. So these are designing or implementing a syllabus, then planning the individual class session, providing opportunities for writing and responding to that writing. So first, let's tackle about the designing the writing syllabus. We need to consider the following. So, in designing the writing syllabus, we need to consider the following factors. First, A feasible scope of the writing task. So this requires us to think through the writing task by looking at the needs of our learners and their background. So, feasible, from the word feasible. So, we must give them writing tasks that they can manage in terms of breadth and depth. So, for example, siguro, ma-apply dyan na to. So, for example, sa grade 7 pa lang, so, yung muna silang kuan og pang college nga mga topic or mga himuonon. So, dapat, ang atong ihatag nila, kanaarang mga task nga ma-manage pud nila ba. Then, sa letter B, a writing task that promotes academic integrity. So, In this age of copy and paste, dali raman jud kay ron, copy paste ra, pati ChatGPT copy paste ra dato para ta activity. So we need to prepare writing prompts or assignments that deter the students from plagiarizing written outputs. In most cases, we do this by making the consequences clear to them and equipping them with paraphrasing and summarizing skills. So, writing task that promotes academic integrity. So, i-make sure po nato nga atong mga estudyante, di ra po sila permi magsalig sa ChatGPT, Google, nga na, di ra nila i-copy paste. So, press giingon diri nga, we do this, mahimo ni nato by making consequences clear to them and equipping them with paraphrasing and summarizing skills. So, pwede man, inato sila nga, pwede nila i-paraphrase para di bitaw gi-copy paste ra to nila tanan, pwede ra man to i-change nila lain-lain nga words. Or kanang lahi ba nga pero same ra gud gihapog meaning. Then, pwede po to ipa-summarize. Then, letter C, the suitable scaffold for the given task. Welfong 2015, a teacher should not assign writing without previous work on the genre, have students write without exposing them to readings from the genre, nor have writing be an isolated individual activity in your classroom. So, the suitable scaffold. So, sa letter C, the statement by Welfong emphasizes the importance of providing a suitable scaffold or support structure for writing tasks. So, this includes genre understanding first. So, teachers should introduce students to the genre of writing they will be working on and provide instruction on its conventions and characteristics. So, number 2 is exposure to readings. So, students should be exposed to examples of writing from the genre they will be working on. So, this allows them to see models and understand the expectations of the genre. Then, number 3 is collaborative learning. So, instead of writing being solely an individual activity, students should engage in collaborative activities. So, kinahanglan pud mo nang kuan nga by group. So, dili ra kay individual ra permi ang activity. Dayon, such as peer reviews, group discussions, or collaborative writing exercises. This helps them to learn from each other. So, mo ni hinungdan nga nung mag-by group, nga na, kay para makaton sila sa usag-usa and then develop their writing skills in a social context. Same sa akong giingon ganina, di ba, ang atong audience is ang teacher ug ang atong mga classmate. So once na ipakita to nato sa atong classmate, so mangutan na ta kanang okay ra ba ni akong gikuan sa mali ani. So ug moingon na atong classmate nga hala kanang mali nga na, so at least ma-improve sa pag-correction niya ug ma-correctionan mo gayong ta, at least ma-improve po nato ato ang writings. And then we have the balik man ni letter D is a specified topic, genre, and purpose. So we may negotiate the topic with our learners, but to avoid frustration upon checking their outputs, we need to be clear in the genre and purpose that we want our students to write about. So, specified topic, genre, and purpose. So, for example, kung kintay mag-topic tag about sa kanang unsa ba, noun, pronoun, mga ana. So kung magpasota sa tong student, so ato jud silang pagbaundaan nga agato ang ato ang genre or ang dapat ilang suwaton is maka-align jud sa ato ang gihatag nga unsa ba discussion or topic nga day. Di kay mo sukwahi sila from the word specified topic, genre, and purpose. Dayon, letter E is a clear rubric of evaluation. So, a well-defined rubric guides the learners in accomplishing their writing task. From the word clear rubric of evaluation, so kabutang kato from the word a well-defined rubric guides that learners in accomplishing their writing task. So letter F, so sa butabo raman, letter F, a reasonable sir of deadline. Dapat po din nato siya i-consider when we write or design a syllabus. So a reasonable sir of deadline. Just as we need to give them feasible scope, we also have to set realistic deadlines. We can set deadlines in stages to provide immediate feedback on their outputs and avoid severe errors in the content and organization. Kisa ba ito niingon na teacher nga, pag niagi, kung kantay, ag imuhang time nga mag-discuss nila is 1 hour ra. Dayon imo silang gihatagan nimo sila og activity nga dapat unta pang 5 days bitaw, then 1 hour gihatagan mo sila 10 minutes or 15 minutes, pila ka minutes nga buhaton imbis 5 days to siya. So magdali-dali imong estudyante, so di na bitaw siya reasonable nga kuan kay imbis pang 5 days to siya, so ag mga estudyante magkarakara na sila. So ag ilang ang mahitabo na noon, ag ilang output wala nagkadimao. Kalimot ko kasi gaingon ato, Sir Arjun man siguro to. So proceed ta. So another part in the planning and implementation of the writing syllabus is the articulation of learning outcomes or learning objectives. Then we have learned the value, behavior, objectives, and even the acronym SMART. Unsa man tong acronym sa SMART base. So S is specific, then M is unsa man tong M, measurable, dayon A is achievable, dayon R is relevant, and then letter T time bound, objectives. Dayon these concepts are important in articulating learning outcomes or objectives for writing instructions because they do not only specify the context, the way of teaching, and the way of monitoring and evaluating performance. So importante jud ning kuan acronym nga SMART. O magkuan ta about sa writing bitaw. Then we have learned the value, behavior, object. So designing the lessons for writing. So number 1, writing instruction for beginners. Teaching 1.2 writing for beginners requires understanding the context of the learners. For instance, we need to know if they already have the skill sets like producing the linguistic codes, writing conventions, and writing mechanics. So we may also consider if and when we teach spelling and handwriting. So aside from deciding on the learning objectives, content, scope, and sequence, we must also plan the teaching strategies and techniques ahead of time. So writing instruction for beginners. So I think makuha na to diri ang mabitawng DLP, di ba? Ang teachers. So we must also plan the teacher strategies ahead of time. Dapat ahead of time jud ta, di kay anha na ta magtuon og samtang nag-discuss ta, so Di na magkadimaw atong ipang storya. So, for learners who are beginners in second language writing, teachers must offer plenty of instructions for accuracy, but they should also engage the learners in the different stages of the writing process. So, according to Presley Mohan, Fingeret, Irfit, and Raphael Bogert, 2007 they offer the following characteristics of an effective elementary literacy classroom. Presley Mohan, Fingeret, pagbasa, Rifin and Raphael Bogart, 2007. So, they offer the following characteristics. So, engaging activities. So, kung ano siya characteristics of an effective elementary literacy classroom. So, first, to have the engaging activities. Writing as a skill can be developed through constant and correct practice. Sama silang ingon nga, practice makes perfect. So, and we might also agree that learning happens best when more senses are involved. Sakto jud, diba? So, for example, sa kanang kami tao eye-catching sa mga student, kanang igtanaw pa lang nila daan. So, ma-engage na sila dayon sa imong gikuan nga activity. Then, or kung sa kuan pod kanang madunggan, so sa audio kantay magpa-play ka dirag music or unsa, basta ma-engage bitaw sila, mas ganahan sila maminaw, mas ganahan sila mo-cooperate sa imong kuan discussion or activity nga gipabuhat. Basta mo nagingon nga we might also agree that learning happens best when more senses are involved. Tinuod jud, diba? So, letter B is developmental instruction. So, it may be tempting to teach writing at an early stage using the product approach because it is easier to check and time efficient. However, experts Tompkins 2008, Presley et al. 2007, Wolfong 2015 have strongly recommended the use of process approach even at the earliest stage in the teaching of writing. They have proven that the draft revised final output is less effective compared to the planned draft revise rewrite process of writing. So, the recursive pattern of the process approach helps the learners to develop not only the habit of planning and organizing but also the ability to monitor their own writing skill, similar to the metacognition skill in reading. So, developmental instruction. So, developmental instruction in the context of writing process refers to the teaching methods and strategies aimed at helping writers improve and refine their skills over time. So, it involves providing targeted feedback, scaffolding, and guidance to support learners as they progress in their writing abilities. So, mo na siya developmental instruction. So, kung unsay sayop nila, ato silang i-correct as a teacher. So, puhon-puhon. Dayon, kaya nga naman makatabang manggod na ato po ibutang sa lugar, di nato sila pakauwawan sa daghang tao ug mang-correction ta nila. So, ato silang kanang unsa ba suwatan baron ang kung unsay mali nila. Nga naon depende man kung giunsa nimo pag correction bitaw ang sa estudyante, pero dapat di pud moabot sa level bitaw or sa time nga kanang mawadan silang confidence nga mohimo na mo suwat ug unsay ilang kuan kay wrong grammar na. So kato from akong giingon nga it involves providing targeted feedback. So multi-developmental instruction. Next is conducive environment. So, experts consider it a serious offense to require learners to write on topics without proper context. So, a teachers of writing, it is best to incite students to write by providing not only the motivation but also the scaffolds to write effectively. So, this could be done by providing plenty of reading materials of that could serve as their source of model for content and opportunities for authentic writing. So, example, a greetings or dedication corner where students can write messages for each other. So, same sa kuan di ba conducive environment kato dayang gi pabuhat bitaw sa recapin katong gipahimutan nila og katong nay libro nila naman niya og katong nay basta katong atong gi bookbound bitaw. So kato iyang gibuhat nga paswaton tan niya letter sa usag-usa. So tanan natong classmate dapat naa with perma pa nila. So katong nga kuan makakuan ta to og conducive environment, di ba? So mas mulig-on ang relationship nato sa tong mga classmate. So kung gutay magsuwat ta, kung ato ni siyang ikuan ug magsuwat ta, kung ato i-reflect sa writing, so kuan mong good na an example of kuan a conducive writing environment that could be a quiet study room kung sa kuan kung sa place ato ang basihan na library equipped with comfortable seating, ample desk space, good lighting, and access to reference materials and technology. So, usapod na kanang sa ato ang environment bitaw kay og magsuwat ta usahay di ba? Ako kay magsuwat ko sa eskwelahan usahay mawa bitaw di ko ka focus tungod saba nga basta saba sa gawas nga na dayon. Additionally, having supportive peers or mentors available for feedback and encouragement can further enhance the environment and foster productive writing sessions. Katong akong giingon ganina katong so supportive peers like example na kay tupad kato imo ipako ng kanang imong patanang imong kuan kung okay ra ba o correction po gadi ka ma-offend dapat imong dawaton kung sayang correction kay makaayo man to nimo makaayo man to nato. So kuan that's all my topic, so thank you.